Good Erev Shabbos, Parshas Va'era. So there's so many things to take out of this week's Parsha, but one point I really want to focus on, a very obvious and blatantly open question that everybody always asks, all the Mefarshim ask, is why is Paro being punished so severely? Why did the Makos keep on going if ultimately it says in the Pasuk, it says Vayechazak Hashem eslei Paro, that Hashem hardened the heart of Paro. So how come Paro is being punished if Hashem wouldn't even let Paro let us go when we wanted to go? So number one, the pshat answer, the simple pshat answer, is in Rashi, that for the first 5 makas, it doesn't say Vayechazak Hashem eslei Paro, it says Vayechazak le Paro, right? Paro himself refused to let us go. He didn't want to. He didn't want to let us go. So then the next 5, Hashem said, okay, fine. Now that you've already shown me what your true ratzon is, now I'm not going to let you do tshuva at all. You're definitely not allowed to fix yourself and just let him go and then get out of this stuff, because I've had enough of you. You're crazy. You've done this. Forget it, right? And the obvious question that we want to ask on that though is, okay, but still, isn't tshuva supposed to be like a beyond nature, an eternal thing? The Medrash says, the heretics will say, this doesn't make sense. What, there's such a thing as a closed door to tshuva? It doesn't make any sense. And so the Ramban brings a beautiful answer. There's many answers to this question. Many. But one of the answers is, it's actually Tam Sheni in the Dibur Maskil. That this is the second answer, and I'm just going to give this one. Just because I think there's something that maybe we could take out of it during these weeks of Shovavim especially, is that the point is that the Medrash is saying, what do you mean Hashem's not letting Paro do tshuva? Of course Hashem is letting Paro do tshuva. How? What does that mean? It literally clearly says that Hashem is not allowing Paro to say, let us go. Because Hashem says, why is Paro saying no? That's the question. The question is why. The reason Paro, and the Ramban explains, the reason why Paro decided after the first 5 makas is because they got progressively worse. And they got really difficult and really painful. So at a certain point, Paro's like, it's not worth it. I'm in literally just deathly pain constantly. My country, I'm losing my kingdom. The only reason he wanted to let us go wasn't because he actually did tshuva. It wasn't because he actually wanted to do the kavod shemayim, the shem shemayim, and to be a good person and to save the Jewish people and to actually give into the will of Hashem, because he actually acknowledged Hashem. It's just because he didn't want to deal with the pain anymore. So ultimately, what does Hashem consider tshuva? Hashem's like, that's not tshuva. He says, who are you? Like, if you want to tighten on me that I'm not letting Paro do tshuva, of course let me do tshuva. He just didn't do tshuva. Just because he wanted to let them go, it doesn't mean it's tshuva. Right? It's about what is his intention? What's he thinking about? What's his real goal behind coming back, so to speak? Behind tshuva is the lashon or shuv, coming back. What is the real reason for him coming back? Is it l'shem shemaim? He wants to become close to me. He wants to do this, or is it because he just doesn't want to feel the pain anymore? And ultimately, that's the reason. So it wasn't that Hashem was messing with Paro's free will. Paro had the free will to do tshuva. He just didn't do tshuva. so then Hashem said, okay, fine. Then I'm going to be mechazik you. I'm going to be mechazik your heart. I am stepping in. I'm not letting you now. I'm not letting you, because if you would just say yes, I'm not going to let you let them go, and then the makos stop. I want the makos to continue because you're not doing tshuva. So ultimately, that's a beautiful answer on the pshat level. And I think Lamaisa thing we could take, especially in Shovavim, is Shovavim is a big time to be misaking our thoughts, right? We know is to think about what's going on in the pnimius, in the inside. Shmiras machshava, taharas machshava. And it's such an important thing to constantly be aware of, not on the outside, but only inside, just between us and Hashem. What are our reasons for things? And again, this is not a concept. We're not supposed to take the concept of the Maisa. Like, okay, if I can't do tshuva for real for something, then I shouldn't do tshuva. Chas v'shalom, that's ridiculous, and that's not what we're trying to take out from here. We're not Paro. We're not, enslaving people and killing babies and stuff. We're not on this level. Maybe we speak lashon hara, maybe we do things, but again, like the point is that that's not the thing we're supposed to take. The point is that if we really want to do tshuva, which really means returning to Hashem, returning to the Darchei Torah, then we have to really think about the real reasons, what's motivating us. And ultimately, if our main reasons are not because we just purely want to get close to Hashem, we want to actually succeed, we want to stop sitting because of the fact that we want to be B'nai Torah, we want to succeed, and we want to love Hashem, we want to learn to love the Da'ah, we want to do all these things, then ultimately, is that a real tshuva? At the end of the day, again, we're not even talking about for sins, we're just talking about tshuva in general. Hashem knows our inner thoughts. We have to remember, Hashem knows what's on the inside. Hashem knows what we're thinking about. And, so it doesn't work to be sitting there, especially with our thoughts. You can be thinking, I want to come back to the Darchei Hashem, but at the same time, thinking about inappropriate things and inappropriate thoughts and looking at inappropriate things, right? This is the Tikkun A Shovavim. And, mixing all these different thoughts. Hashem knows what's going on the inside. Is, I think, the big lesson that we could take from this, during this week's Parsha, during this time. And ultimately, the idea is that we have to be very careful about our thoughts. And even if we can't control them necessarily sometimes, but don't let that ruin the tshuva experience, so to speak. Doesn't mean you can't come back to Hashem. Just break it and just offer to Hashem and say, Hashem, you know my true thoughts. Maybe I have these thoughts, but it's not me. Please, Hashem, help me come back. Please give me shmiras ma'ashava. Shkoyach, have a great Shabbos.